Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Warbotron Airburst. A new company that's basically given us our first fully independent representation of Bruticus, the combined form of the Combaticons. And Airburst here is, well, their version of Blastoff, the space shuttle. For the packaging, really very nice though. You see WB01A Airburst, very nice package on here. I love the art on here. It's very unique. I do dig it. And then on the front here, you can see the Warbotron in the front and then Airburst right there. It is a bit of a slip cover, so you take this off, and then you're left with this, with a color image of the Airburst figure, with a really nice background here in space, which makes sense because he transforms into a spaceship. You got to open a window here where the figure would be seen. You come around here to the side. He's a sergeant, and he's a martial master. Armed Forces of the Warbotron. Then you come around here to the back, and then you got a nice kind of wire image here of Airburst as well as his space shuttle mode. So for the packaging, that's really about it. I really do like it. This is an adult collectible. It's not meant for children under 0 to 3, but I do dig it. It says ages 15 plus, so whatever. But beyond that, that is it for the packaging. So without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Airburst open up and out of its packaging. And first off, he does come with a collector card that it's pretty much the same image that you got. Here's also the instructions. It says Airburst, Warbotron. You come on here to the back. And I really do think that they need to hire somebody to properly translate this stuff, because armed forces of the Warbotron. Okay, spell check is a wonderful thing for some people, and then you get this really nice comic sort of thing. It's actually a very glossy, thick package or cover, which is really quite strange. And then you open it up, and it's got a bit of a story about Megan, and here I guess is Megan, and definitely in a very anime sort of look. But I do like the comic. Again, there's I guess a story that they're telling that is just kind of comical, because you can't really understand what's going on. Coming up a little bit more, don't crash to the mountain. But what? So as you're reading it, you're just laughing because you're trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, some things are perfectly fine, but I mean, a lot of it is just very weird. But she stumbles across this cache of weapons. There's a big giant robot behind her. She doesn't notice that, I guess, but she thinks it's a monster, and then basically makes fun of her, laughs. She runs around, finds other things, and then we have a bit of a preview for Volume 2, which is like, from the looks of it, is their not swindle. So as you continue on though, this is where you have the instructions, and pretty simple instructions. It does have a very similar instruction feel to honestly TFC Toys, and then you come around here to the back, really nice image right there. But it really isn't the only, I guess, similarity. It is Warbotron. It is not according to the package given to us by TFC Toys, but there's a lot that is very similar between this and the specifically the jets that we've gotten with their Urano set. Really cool shuttle. It is a little bit different than what we're used to. There aren't 3 thrusters here in the back. I guess that's a little bit easier to excuse, because this is basically the legs down here and they connect. So I don't know how you would put a third rocket right there. So it doesn't bother me. Some people have complained about it, but to me it is a Cybertronian looking space shuttle. Maybe the Airburst wanted to keep some of that Cybertronian look, but it's overall a pretty nice look to it, I think. For a comparison here, I forgot which one this one is called, but it's the Fireflight figure. As you can see, they are kind of in the same size. Obviously, Blastoff is a little bit thicker of a figure. The Warbotron is meant to be a bigger combiner, so there you have the comparisons in terms of a flying comparison. And then for a comparison with his G1 self, here that is, you can see that there is a difference in the color. He almost has more of a swindle color than really a blast off color, but you can see that there are some cues that are taken. I do have some stickers here. The repro label stickers are added to it, so it changes it a little bit. But again, I really do think that this is a pretty nice representation. The color, yes, it's not exact, but I can kind of see where it, I guess, is inspired by with this figure. Now, one thing that I definitely should point out is there is a bit of a quality control issue on mine. First of all, these little wingtips here. As you can see, this one stays up very nicely, whereas this one kind of droops. I have to hold it up, and then when you push it down, it just completely will drop. Like, I'll get there, and then it'll completely drop all the way down. This one doesn't do it. It stays up nicely. Now, I could probably tighten that, and that's not that big of a deal. The biggest problem that I have are the landing gear. You got little nubs back here that are meant to replicate the rear landing gear, and then you got some right here that come out in his chest. The problem is, though, when you roll these out, and they're tough to actually do. I'm using a pair of tweezers here. When you do, on mine, oh, well, there it goes. Let's see if I can get this one to do it without flying. Yeah, there we go. Here are the wheels. The problem is the little hooks that actually hold them in don't at all. As you can see, zooming in as much as I can, these little bits right here are what actually are holding the wheels in, and you can see just how wide those are. If you look very carefully, you can actually see on the inside they're pushed out, and there's actual stress marks on them. These wheels will not stay in at all. There's no gripping to it at all. I mean, you can see that it just completely falls right out. And that's really very unfortunate. Now, I guess I could just leave it like this and have these extended out and kind of makeshift those as landing gear, but it really is very unfortunate. And like I said, there is nothing holding these in. They just rest there. So you roll these up and put these away. They stay up in there, but I mean, and again, I don't know how well that stress mark is coming across, but both of them are like that. That's really very unfortunate. Now, for the most part, I'm not going to be having them in the shuttle mode, so it's not too bad, but when you're paying almost $100 for a figure, but in general, it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment of the figure. So to transform them, first I'm going to take these guns off here on the side. You can peg them on the side here. I like them actually up here, or you can put them down here on the bottom. Because you can't get the other landing gear out, though, on mine, when you put them down there, well, that one goes flying. When you get them underneath here, they kind of sit a little bit lower than the actual wheel, so that's, again, kind of pointless on there. But for me, personally, I think they look better up here anyhow. Now, like I said, there is a lot of similarities in terms of the engineering between this and the TFC, specifically Uranos figures. First, what you're going to do is come around here. This little bit right here just pegs in. Go ahead and take that off. Then this whole section here, just wiggle this a little and then pull this all the way out. And again, it is very similar to it. Give it a full pull so that you get it to lock in. And you'll hear it click, just like so. And that's locked in nicely. And then, so I mean, you can see that that's a very similar aspect. Then tuck these wheels in. Again, that's a very similar aspect. Then you rotate these around and you put them along the side. Again, similar. Take these, fold these back. These little bits right here will fold down and then rotate, and here are his feet. And again, it's a similar feel in terms of the engineering. So whether or not Warbotron is TFC Toys, I do not know. It's not confirmed or anything, but there's a lot of similar design elements that really strike me as something from TFC Toys. So once you get that like that, you have his legs done. Then you come up here to the top. And I mean, I keep talking about the whole TFC Toy connection, and it doesn't honestly bother me at all because I love the stuff from TFC Toys. Hercules is my favorite of the not Devastator combiners, and I actually really do enjoy Uranos. So it doesn't bug me at all. I mean, I could care less. It's kind of weird. Take these, lift these up. You're going to lift these up as well. Take this section right here, tuck this down and in. Do that on this side as well. And then here's a very similar aspect as well. The arms just kind of tuck in here. Now, at least with the jets, they just folded along the side, but you have the arms right here. So fold this out, fold that out. It actually hides fairly well. Rotate this down just like so. Then you got the fist right here. Give that a nice little push. And then you have to bring this around and then rotate the hand all the way around. Do that on this side as well. Tuck that in. Give that a little push here on the bottom. It's the easiest way to get the fists out because it is fairly stiff. There you go. Come on. And yeah, really tight joints on here. So I am pleased with that, at least on the rest of the figure. Rotate that around. Straighten that around. There we go. Get that all situated nicely. And then you can take these, you can just tuck these along the side, putting them right back along the back. Take this section here, pull this up. This is a little bit weak, I think, in terms of the engineering. You just kind of loosen this up. This doesn't really peg in together, but I'll cover that a little bit more when we actually get to the transformation back to his spaceship mode. And rotate these around, bring these down, rotate these around. It's easier to go this way as opposed to going around forward, I guess. Well, it's personal preference, whatever you want to do. Whatever's easiest for you guys. Straighten those out just like that. This kind of comes around here and rests literally right there. I mean, I guess you can kind of tuck it up there, but straighten this out. And here you have Airburst in his robot mode. And this really does look terrific. I really do like this guy. As you can see, he does have his regular guns here. One thing that's very nice is that he's got pulsable fingers. They just are articulated here at this knuckle on the back here, so that's all you really get, but I appreciate that. That's actually really very nice. And one of the easier ways to do things to kind of get the arms to look a little bit better and have these kind of sit down a little bit more is keep this back section. I had it all the way up. Keep this actually back a little bit. That way it gives you a little bit more clearance to put these little shoulder bits down. But I really do dig the way that this guy looks. He's really very nice, and you can see an outstanding amount of light piping is coming through with this. Now he does have a couple extra weapons. I mean, you saw the handguns here. This section here that you took off does split apart, and then you can take this section, fold this forward, and it reveals a missile pod. You can move this, and you can position this however you want. Putting this there on that arm, doing that on this side as well, and actually you can see that he actually can hold them, so you can fold this out as well, and if you wanted to, you can have him hold this in his hand. It's again a personal preference kind of thing. If you want to put it on the forearm, or if you want to have him hold it, you could do either or. So really very nice. This might come in handy when you're combining them into Warbotron. I'm not 100% sure, but that is something that is really nice. Now for a size comparison, setting him to the back a little bit, here you have him next to that Fireflight figure as well as his G1 self, and you can see that he is a bigger figure than the actual Fireflight figure. So this guy is a fairly big guy, easily a large Voyager scale. I mean, Fireflight was kind of Voyager in and of itself, but this one's probably a large scale Voyager. And then, well, I took him along, but here you have his little G1 self, which I don't even know why I'm using that as a comparison. I just wanted to do it. So very nice size on here. Now, first articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion. The head sculpt is absolutely phenomenal. Zoom in so that you can see that nicely. Again, you can see a very nice amount of light piping in here, and then a very cool looking head, which really does nicely capture that blast off character. So you do have that nice range of motion there in his head. The shoulders move up and down, but these bits do get in the way, so you get a nice range of motion, but you do have to lift these up to get them up. And they're not too bad, and because these are on ball joints and swivels, you got a ball joint here at the top section, and then a swivel that actually connects to his torso. You can actually position this in a way to get it out of the way of the arm, so it's not too terribly bad, honestly. It moves in and out. It rotates at the upper part of the bicep. He's got two joints here at the elbow. The elbows are kind of thin and ugly. That also was something that I noticed with the TFC toy figures. Using him to compare him, I mean, I do feel bad constantly doing it, but it just feels like something that TFC Toys has done. So you do get that. The wrists here rotate. They also move in and out as part of the transformation. You got the fingers that are articulated. You got the waist swivel right there. This little section right here comes up, and then you can get these to move forward and back all the way. They move, get that out of the way, move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They bend here at the knee. I am not noticing any damage or anything. One thing that's actually really cool is as you bring the knee down, it kind of fills that area in. Bringing it up, that section goes away, and then you bring it out, and then there's gears that come out. It's really very nice looking. So good amount of articulation there. So this guy really has all the articulation that you could possibly want, and the plastic quality feels very nice and sturdy. I don't feel like anything's going to break on it. The tabs that are here, even though that they're stressed, they don't feel all that fragile, I guess. But it is something that you do want to be careful about. But everything else on here feels very sturdy. The plastic quality is actually pretty impressive, so I don't have any complaints about that. It's as sturdy as you've come to expect with third-party companies. I really don't think that we get a lot nowadays that are really all that bad. And with this being a new company, they really haven't impressed me with the quality that they put out. So I'm actually really happy with it. There's a great deal of detail on the figure. The paint job looks really nice. Everything on here really is pretty substantially well done. Now, first transformation back. First, we're gonna take the hands here, kind of collapse the fingers all the way up, rotate them all the way around like so, and then tuck them in. If you rotate, you can tuck them in like this, but you have a harder time with the thumb right there. So you do need to rotate that around so that the thumb doesn't get in the way. So rotate that, and well, now I'm having a hard time with this one. Come on. There we go. Get that all the way around there. It was just it's a tight joint there. So take this panel here, open this up on both of his forearms, just like so. Kind of bring these down just like that. Take his head, straighten that out. Then you want to open this up, just like so. Loosen this, bring this up and around, and then you're going to cover his head in. This is where I sort of had a problem. It's got just these little tabs along the outer lines. They don't really lock in very well. They just sort of friction together, and there's nothing else really that tabs it. Then you take this, bring this over, and kind of give it a little push and pull at the same time. So you're pushing back on this, pulling forward on this, and this kind of locks it in, and it stays there nicely, but this section still, it doesn't feel all that secure. Lift this up on both sides, then fold these little panels, do that on that side as well. Then you can take these arms, rotate these back and around, do that on this side as well. Line that up, get the legs straightened out like so, and then you can bring these panels down, kind of push this in. Well, no, you don't want to push that all the way in like that. Keep that there. Push this down. You have to sort of pull on this to get it to line up, actually. Come on, what are you doing? Now let's try it on this side. Makes it a little bit easier on the sides. There we go. Bring this around. Well, here, I'm having a hard time with this. I'm sorry. You want to rotate that down. That's what my problem is. This has to be rotated down. Sorry. Then bring this, slot this in, kind of separate this, then push it down, just like that. Do that on this side as well. Bring it down, slot that in, and then you can see there's kind of a gap there that I can't seem to do anything about, but it doesn't really make things look too terribly ugly. It's not bad, but it's a kind of weird sort of thing. Keep this up just like so. Take this section here, rotate the foot all the way around, and then bring it up and rest it along the side. Do that on this side as well. Then bring this all the way up, kind of rest that right there. Bring the legs together. Well, it's a little bit easier sometimes to do it one leg at a time. Just kind of push it in and then push this one in. It does take a little bit of effort, but it's not too bad, at least on mine. So once you get that squished in, then you can bring these two halves together, lock those down and in, kind of straighten these out. Just, well, that pegs out. And that's another thing that's very similar to the TFC Toys ones. The actual wings just detach. So straighten that out. Then you're going to have a little small rectangular hole right in here. There is a little tab on here that you fold this down and you push that into, and that lines up nicely. Bring that in again, push that down,
keep everything locked into place, straighten everything out, give everything nice squeezes across the board, make sure it's all flush. Take this, fold this out, push that in as much as you can, fold this out, kind of wiggle those wings nice and in like so. Then you're going to take these two sections, you're going to peg them together. Well, lift this up, take the rocket launcher section, slide that back down, bring these two sections together, lock it in, straighten this, bring them across the top, and you got the 4 holes right here that peg in right there, locks that down, and here you have him back in his spaceship mode. Now,
this is his combined mode. Now, when I do the full review of Warbotron, I'll show you how to transform all these individually, but this is basically what you're left with. This is a very weird look. First of all, these robot arms just kind of stay out here. According to the actual transformation instructions, this is where they're supposed to be. I guess maybe I could angle this up a little bit better, but it just doesn't seem to fit very well. I mean, I guess you could tuck it in and make it a little bit better like that, but it just looks weird. The other thing is it doesn't come with his hand. Hopefully the Onslaught figure does come with that, or the not Onslaught figure comes with it. And then here's the peg to connect his arm to the torso. But again, the thing that's weird about this is that that's very low. This is where his elbow is. I mean, that's where the joint is to articulate. At least they say that this is the front of his forearm. So getting this out of the way, that's where his elbow bends, which is really sort of strange to me where you would put that. It seems very low. And then you can see that it is a different kind of connector peg than what we've gotten with things from like TFC Toys Out, where this is the actual peg, or the male version, whereas all the other ones that we've gotten in terms of combiners, they've all been the female and have connected to the torso that way. So this is a weird look. It's definitely interesting. And again, like I said, this is supposed to be the front. So if you rotate that around, it actually makes it a little bit better in terms of an arm. I kind of like this a little bit more. At least it would put like the elbow sort of joint a little bit lower, and this be the forearm here of Warbotron. So I don't know, until we get like a combined look for it, it's throwing me off. This is honestly probably the weakest look for him. His shuttle mode, his robot mode, all look terrific. This is just really blah for me right now. But most people are probably buying this for the Bruticus look. That arm really might put some people off. As I said, individually as a robot, the alt mode here in terms of the spaceship, I think looks really good. Robot mode also I think is phenomenal. That arm really does kind of put me off. Now, it doesn't ruin it for me. I mean, I got this. I'm in it for the long haul. And I really am looking forward to having a Bruticus. It's just that's one of the questions that I have about how it's going to look. Beyond that, I really do like this figure. As I said, the build quality is pretty nice. There are a few quality control aspects, but like with the wing, oh no, it's this wing I think, or is it? Yeah, it's this wing. That's something that I can fix. So hopefully if you guys have any QC problems, it's a fixable sort of thing. I mean, that's something that we would get in a mass released figure as well, so that doesn't bug me. The landing gear sort of seems hit and miss. I've seen a couple other people review this that one would fall off. Mine, both of them fall off, but it's something that you can mitigate by not even using. Because, as I said, who's going to display it just like this? I really do like the figure, and I think it is well worth picking up. It's fun, and honestly, for me, it's the best representation of a blast-off that we've gotten in terms of an updated look. Even better than the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus. So, I do like it, and I do recommend it. So if you are interested in getting him, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You go to Big Bad Toy Store where you can pick this up and add it to your collection today. But beyond that, that's about it, guys. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/teambotimus. and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. Also, don't forget to check out my new website at optibotimusreviews.com. And if you like this review, don't forget to please rate, subscribe, and share this video. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.